Let's run through the system settings that are really going to help you enhance the use of Unleashed. These system settings can be found in a Settings system. The first one is our adjustment reasons. These are used when creating a stock adjustment and are perfect for reporting purposes. Again, not necessary, but really enhance the use of Unleashed. When wanting to add in new adjustment reasons, simply type in the adjustment reason and click Add. Then you'll be able to use these against your stock adjustments. Do note in this list you've got a range of adjustment reasons. Most of them cannot be deleted. Our new adjustment reason at the bottom that we've just added in can be, however. This is simply because we've used the adjustment reasons, so they cannot be deleted. We need them for historical purposes. If it hasn't been used, we can delete them, and this is quite a common rule in Unleashed. Next one down is our credit reasons, used when creating a customer credit against a sale. If you need a new reason, simply type it in and click Add. Now you can use it against your credit. Perfect for reporting purposes. If there's a big spike in credits or stock being returned by customers, we can easily find out why. Moving along, we have our currency rates. This is where we specify the currency rates that our customers and suppliers trade in. Simply select the currency selection of your supplier or customer. Then pop in a default buy and sell rate. The default buy and sell rate will be used by default in your purchases and sales. However, you can change this on a transaction by transaction basis. Now that we've added in the currency, we can see it's added to the list of currencies we're working with and can be placed against a supplier or a customer. Our next one is customer types. Against a customer record, we can pop on a customer type. These customer types can be used to suit your business requirements. So it could be region, territory, any kind of grouping that you see fit. Simply add in the customer type and select Add. This helps us group together our sales by customer types as seen on the dashboard, as well as our reports. Next, delivery methods. These are a list of methods that we can choose from in the sale. For example, our customer has selected that they want the goods to be air freighted instead of sea freight. Next, prefixes. Against every transaction in Unleashed, you'll have a prefix. You get to define these when you first start your account. Once you've created a purchase order, for example, you can no longer change the prefix. Against every transaction, we also have the next number. Again, define when you first start your account. Once we've got that type of transaction, we cannot change the next number in the system settings. If you do need to change the prefix or the next number, then let our support team know. Next, our product groups. Pop in the product group name at the top and select Add. You can define these product groups as you see fit. And again, is a really great way of grouping our sales together for our dashboard and also our reports. Once you've got your product groups, you pop them against each of your products that you're creating. Next is our payment terms. Simply type in the payment term name, the number of days if applicable, and then the type. So for example, if you wanted the customer to pay 15 days after the sales order has been complete, you'd put days after and add this in. Once the payment term has been created, you can pop it against a supplier record or a customer record or against the transaction itself. Unleashed does come with a list of payment terms by default, but we can add in new payment terms to suit your business requirements here. Next is our sales groups. This is a custom field against our sales order. At the top, we're going to give our sales group field a label. For example, I want to monitor sales that are coming in by sales campaign. So I put sales campaign at the top, which is the name of the field. And then I create sales group name. This is going to create a list of options in the drop-down. This way we're adding extra metadata against each individual sale. Next is our salespersons. We simply add in a list of salespeople that we can specify against customer records or against a sale. We pop in their full name and email address. This way we're tying sales into salespeople and can easily do reports and calculate commission. Down from here is our Sel Price Tiers. In this particular option, we're simply naming our Sel Price Tiers, so they're a little more meaningful than Sel Price Tier 1 to 10. Again, we can use these Sel Price Tiers as we see fit. For example, I've got different prices for wholesale and retail, US and AU currency. Down from here we have our shipping companies. We'll see these shipping companies against the shipment. We're specifying these shipping companies here as a list of acceptable shipping providers. Of course, in the shipment, we pop in not only the company, but the tracking number and so forth. Next one down is our supplier return reasons. Much like our credit and adjustment reasons, it's there to help us with our reporting. Simply type in the supplier return reasons and select Add. Then you can specify one of the reasons when you're creating your supplier return. Next is our taxes, everyone's favourite subject. If you're using Xero or QBO, the screen may look a little different from what you see here. If you're not using an integration, then you get to specify the tax rates. However, if you are using an integration, it's best to pull the tax rates from an accounting integration into Unleashed so that they match up nicely. Once you've specified the tax rates, you can then pop it on against several records in Unleashed. For example, the customer, supplier, and product, as well as the transaction. Next one is our unit of measure, specified against our products. This isn't a conversion, it's simply how we measure the products. For example, if you've got kilos of hops, we'd put in kilos here, or grams, to let everyone know how we are measuring them. Last but not least, we have our warehouses. Now, depending on your subscription, you may have a single warehouse or multiple warehouses. If you have a single warehouse, you'll have one warehouse record that you can alter as needed. If you have multiple warehouses, you can create new warehouses and configure existing ones. When jumping into this warehouse, my Sydney warehouse, I can see my warehouse code and name, as well as contact details and address details.